Trump takes aim at private equity's favorite tax perk again. Trump is once again saying he wants to end a tax perk used by private equity fund managers, a policy feat that politicians have tried and failed to achieve for more than a decade. Under threat, the tax code's controversial treatment of the profits of private equity, venture capital, and hedge fund managers. In the current regime, dealmakers pay a lower rate on their share of profits because these returns are taxed as capital gains instead of normal employment income. In a meeting with Republican lawmakers last Thursday, Trump said closing the carried interest loophole is a priority. Such a shift could reduce the deficit by $13 billion. 34. How does this play into your Big Short 2.0 thesis with private equity?
$13 billion is really not a lot. You don't do it because you're saving money. You do it because you think it's unfair. I'm going to give you sort of a contrarian view here. I actually think the carried interest exemption is not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily for hedge funds, but for VCs and private equity. Basically, what that means is you're a private equity person and you buy some companies and you're holding them for 7 years, 10 years, and every year they go up a little bit. You don't really have a taxable event until you sell the investments like 10 years later, right? Or until they go public or they're acquired. You don't really have a taxable event. But you're marking your portfolio higher every year, and the government is taxing you on a mark-to-market basis sort of every year at that favorable rate. I think it's 15%. I think carried interest is 15%. So you're not paying full capital gains at ordinary income every single year you hold these portfolio companies, which I think is a good thing because you don't have the cash. Like I said, you don't have a liquidity event. I'm not philosophically opposed to the carried interest exemption, but you asked me what effect it would have on private equity. I think it makes private equity a lot less attractive, for sure. And I think it makes working in private equity a lot less attractive. Like you said, they've been trying to get rid of this for 15 years. And now private equity is 20 times as big as it was 15 years ago. And you have people like Steven Schwartzman, who is a multi-billionaire who supported Trump for the campaign. And Trump is going to reward him by getting rid of the carried interest exemption. Number one, it's going to be hard to kill. Number two, I don't necessarily disagree with it. Number three, it's not a lot of money. It's really more symbolic than anything.